Good evening, welcome. Yes, lobster. I know, I've been out all weekend. And I'm just gonna go a little bit away from all the noise. There we go. Not so much noise here. Oh, I just got home 10 minutes ago after an exhausting weekend. I have been in the sun. Yes, outside, indeed. Uh, ah, yeah. I think lobster emotes are welcome. But this time it's not white balance. It's not white balance on camera. I was actually considering desaturating the image just so that you wouldn't be laughing at me because I wasn't this red when I got home, but it's just been flaring up. It could have been worse. It could always be. Everything could always be worse. Yeah, I don't think I'm sort of ready to. Dance doesn't hurt. Not if I don't touch it. So yeah, that's it. uh, I. I don't think I'm just quite ready to. I haven't processed this weekend, so I just need to jump on in and just hang out with you guys. How warm is Denmark at the moment? It's not because it's particularly warm. It was wind. It's also just really windy, but I don't know. It was like 15 degrees today. Probably maybe a bit more because we were outside in short sleeves and stuff. So yeah, maybe a bit more. But then again, it doesn't take much more in Denmark for people to run around and get a suntan. Maybe eight. Let's call it 18, and then be generous about it. So yeah, next week let's talk a bit about streaming. A risky life. Oof. Yes, I'm living life on the way. I think I was living a very risky life, and at least sort of for my own sanity, this weekend. Oof. Yeah. But I don't. I'm not. Maybe a bit later today, but not at this point. I'm not going to start off with just. Yeah, I haven't processed what happened this weekend. It's not because it's massive. It's just so weird. Um, so let's. I just wanted to come back and just get online, get back to my regular routine, get back in my comfort zone because this is really my comfort zone, and I know that a lot of people are just asking me, like, "Oh man, so you work every night?" I'm like, "It's it's not doesn't feel like work in this regard. It feels like home. It feels like the most relaxing thing I could do. And then like, so what are you doing? Like, oh yeah, I'm programming and having hundreds of people looking over my shoulder and call out my mistakes. It's just relaxing and comforting. This is my comfort zone, really. Meta Carriers Live. Hello, news. I've been following your work on YouTube for multiple games. Right now, it's Factorio. I'm looking at your mega base in the book build right now, which I'm trying to borrow for things from. The issue I'm running into is your train stations aren't requesting trains. Is there something else I need to do beside the train stations at my iron ore pickup? No, they should work. It requires that you have a global red and green wire so that the iron producer and the iron requester are connected with a red and green wire. Aside from this, it works. You also need trains in the network, and then it works. Go outside with a 50 plus sun protection hat and sunglasses. Wow. Yeah, that's I probably should have, but I didn't expect this ceremony in the forest to be not in the forest and 3 hours long. But you know, or at least 2.5. So anyway, it is what it is. You're supposed to get a sun tan thing. Not a sun tan, but sun scorch in the early spring in Denmark. That's kind of my tradition. Started playing Victoria recently, and your builds are helpful. Thank you, and welcome. Nice of you to drop by on a Factorio night. Well, just want to talk a bit about next week's schedule because I just managed while counting down. Um, then I just updated my schedule for next week, and it's a little bit tricky because there's Darkest Dungeon release. I want to be doing more Timberborn. I want to do more Jedi Survivor, and we of course have Factory Workshop. So the first thing is Factory Workshop next Sunday. That's a given. Good, done. So Darkest Dungeon releases tomorrow. And I was thinking either Monday and Friday, but I think it's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So it'll be 3 times next week, and then it'll be reverting to just Fridays from then on. That's kind of my idea. Then I have currently planned Timberborn for Tuesday, Thursday, and then Jedi Survivor for Saturday. That unfortunately means we're not going to continue on the journey until next Saturday. But it might it might also be Thursday instead of Timberborn having Jedi Survivor there. I'm a little bit torn. I think we'll have a look at how Timberborn works on Tuesday, and then if we want to do more of that, and if it works, then we do that. If it doesn't work particularly well, then I might just do the Jedi Survivor thing, because we also want to. I want to complete this game, not because I want it done, but I want to experience it and have some more time with it. And it's really difficult to find the time in the calendar. Next week, not the one starting tomorrow, but the week after that, we'll be having a release of V Rising, so that'll also be interesting. I mean, these are games that I'm looking forward to. I don't think they're going to be having like a massive impact on the community and stuff we do here, but I have a. It's interesting. Metacarius posted a picture in your Discord in the Factorio channel. Awesome. So if anyone is Factorio curious and wants to help out, then maybe take a look at that and provide some insights on why it's not working, if you can. Hello, Spellmore. Yeah, so that is going to be next week. I do want to just play a little bit more Darkest Dungeon than anticipated or than usual, because it's new, and I mean, it's new in proper Thank you for the 23 months.
Welcome
Almost
home.
time for a new badge. Indeed. We'll see if we can keep you enticed to come back for the next month as well. That one was blinking. Why? No idea why. Yeah. So, yeah. We're still sort of in the standby mode for Factorio, Dyson Sphere, that kind of thing. Bravo, thank you for the 17 months.
Welcome home.
I'll be difficult keeping you enticed. Thank you. Appreciate it. Also, when we're not really playing so much of the usual games, like also, I'm looking at next week and I'm excited about Darkest Dungeon 2, even though we played it, but now we're going to replay it and it's new and there's actually 2 more bosses. Ooh. And 1 new character. Then I'm excited about Jedi Survivor, but you are not. So, I mean, a few of you are. Timberborn, it's kind of, a little bit, it's kind of waning interest. So maybe V-Rising, I'm going to be replaying it. And also for V-Rising, Baked Beans has put a lot of effort into setting up a server together with Prime Dead. So we will actually have a community server that will be available for some kind of patrons setting up. Late today? Yes. Just came back from a weekend outside, as you can see. Yeah, I want to give it a try. I'm foreseeing a disaster coming before the first in and thinking, damn, it just makes it look so easy. Yeah, that's the kind of thing, right? If some things look easy when you're good at them, other things still look difficult. So, hot Danish sun, yes, indeed. I thought it was the lighting. Yeah, I mean, it is the lighting. It's just, especially, you can't see it so well in the camera, but you can see like my what are the crow's feet? That's what it's called. Crow's feet are not 10, which wouldn't really make sense if it was the lighting. Because I mean, squinting because I forgot my sunglasses as well. It is what it is. Whew, yeah. So could turn badly. What? I mean, I don't plan to go outside again anytime soon. Well, actually, tomorrow I'm gonna go for a long hike. I think that was at least the plan, to go on a long hike. But let's Skin Sense no joke. No, okay. Let's not exaggerate at this point. It's just a mild suntan, and then I'm a little bit. Think there's not like. Yeah, I appreciate your concern. Maybe I should just stay indoors and never go outside, because lots of things are dangerous. So, well, yeah. So it last week has been a bit tough because Jedi Survivor came out on the 17th, no, the 28th, and I played it on the 29th. And last week I had days off, and I ended up just playing only Jedi Survivor, which of course was not good. That you can also see that it's yeah, we're on the 7th, so the Factorio Musculaja's hype train conductor. So we'll have a look today at what we can do in Factorio. I need to get slowly into the mindset of gaming Factorio, that kind of thing again. So we'll just you can die from it. You most certainly will die from it. Being alive is extremely dangerous. Of course, the whole concept of the weekend trip I was on was that the soul is immortal and that stays with you, and your soul chooses your life to be born into because of something you want to learn, and that the mortal coil will teach you that in this session of your immortal life. It was a bit hard for me. It was tough. It was someone conducted by an old hippie who was as spiritual as I am rational, and she had a matter-of-factly way of saying things, like, yes, colors and sound are healing. Yes, and if it wasn't for Big Pharma, there would be a lot more color and sound in the healing today, because that's what heals the soul, and the soul heals the body and the mind. And if it wasn't for Big Pharma, then we would see colors and sounds and voices as being the healing. Do you think it was difficult for me to stay there? Oh, yeah, it was that kind of like, and here is a bottle of water, and if you all pass it around, instill some love in it, hold it close to your heart, and bestow it with all the love in the universe, channel it through you into this bottle, and then pass it on to the next. And then once everyone has done that, this bottle will be blessed and purified with the holiest of water, bestowed with all the love from the circle and all the love from the universe, all channel into this bottle. And it's not just something I say. Homeopathic medicine, it is proven fact. It's not just some mumbo jumbo. It's actually proven. It is scientifically proven. I was applauded by the people who knew me, and were like, "You handled that really well." When she said that, I looked at you, and I could see you were almost exploding, but you just held your cool. Yeah. Yeah. That was goodness damn well done. It was it was outside. I turned this color, and it hasn't left since then. No, it was a fantastic experience, because I needed to learn to accept people who are so fundamentally different than I am, and separate the fact that we do not disagree, we do not agree on anything in our worldviews, but I can still like the person. That's a challenge, because it's easy to have a tendency to dislike people who disagree with you, and being able to think highly of someone who you don't agree with anything. And there were some things that we kind of agreed on our worldviews, and we just had different ways of saying it. And that was yeah, but I don't have to spend time with them. But I had to spend 2 full days with a whole group that was
Welcome
extremely
home.
spiritual, and it was a we simply dislike all people. Thank you, Sir Conrad, for the 44 months. Did the homeopathic sunscreen work? About as well as any other homeopathic remedy works. When the placebo effect can't fix it, it doesn't work. Must be a hard change for you. It's not necessarily hard, but it's a growth. It's a growth opportunity, and that's a moment of learning and also being able to hear it and absorb it and disagree with it and shut the fuck up. That's also difficult. It's at least difficult for me. Um, so it was about growing as a person, and um, a lot of people had like really good spiritual visions and experiences and that kind of thing. But for me, it was more of a learning to accept people for who they are, even though they are quite delusional. Wow, yeah. Hello, little one. You wanna come here? No? Okay. No. So, the perfect homeopathic medicine is literally water. Yes. And there's also like, we all know that water has the absorbent ability. It can absorb energy. And I was just thinking, like, yeah, it's called temperature. But, you know, that wasn't the answer that they were looking for. So, has the counter reset at some point? Well, you can thank the moderators for abusing their power and tempting fate. So, all right. So, and for the first time, Phoebe character was at first was appearing as the worst one for me, but the best one. Oh, okay. Many of our healthcare providers support the crap and pays for it. Ugh, that sucks. But yeah, placebo effect is not to be discounted, and it's a hell of a cheap and it has very little side effects. That's also one of the strength of homeopathic medicine is that it doesn't really have any side effects because it's just literally water. Oh, the cats have gotten stuck in the door, I think. Nope, just pick the door, a fight with the door. Protest against homeopathy. Each one down a full bottle of homeopathic sleep pill and kept on going for an hour. Yeah. The thing is, like, people who are passionate about something fringe is always the ones that are passionate. Like, no one goes to the streets and protests like rigorous scientific research. Like, that's not something you peer reviewed testing. Woo! You don't see people with signs blockading the streets arguing that. It's always the fringe ones that are the most fanatical. So, yeah, but it was an internet experience, but also challenging. So, is an absence of real medicine which could turn deadly is if issue is real. True, true, true. Then if you choose to fix your the problem is with kids, right? But if you choose to go down the path of crystal healings, colors, and magic, then well, isn't that just evolution working to improve the next generation? So, I'd say there is a whole spectrum of alternative medicine. You know what they call alternative medicine that works? Just call it medicine. That's it. It's not a joke. It's just how it is. Patatosh. Thanks for bringing your content here and YouTube. I really appreciate your tutorial and Factorio Masterclass. Can you share the blueprint of the circuit for the spiral coordinate generator? Could I find it anywhere? It's not shared, but it's available as part of the save games for patron supporters. But I don't share save game. I don't share blueprints unless I feel that they are complete, and these are not complete yet. They're work in progress. Especially Mother's Kiss is really effective. Yes, and a Band-Aid. Band-Aid work wonders on kids. Like, do you like? Here's a Band-Aid. There we go. Mediation medicine. Mediation. Mediation. Right. Wait. Well, enough of that. Let's jump on into the game and see if I can figure it out. Nope. I think it's because it's set to look for the PS5. Yeah, no PS5 there. We'll also just switch to the break screen. There we go. So now it's also removed from the break screen. Welcome. Good evening. Let's jump on into the game. Thank you for joining tonight. Okay, so this is our base. There are many like it, but this one is ours. What are we doing here? Well, the idea is that we will have a main loop up here that will just keep rotating. There's a little token. There used to be a little token. I think the token got stuck because we stopped it. It stopped here. So the token runs around and then goes into one of the programs in order of priority. And then it executes that command. It builds that city block, and then it moves on. Then it makes sure that this one makes sure that we don't build the same thing 2 times in a row or many times in a row. This part down here is responsible for making sure that city blocks are built here, here, and then down here, then up here, and then this way, there, and then around. So that's ensuring the spiralness. That is this part. This is sort of the main loop that just this is the only special building thing that's really in here. This is a blueprint deployer. When you put a blueprint in, it deploys it according to some inputs, such as what blueprint to input, and that's what goes in here. We have the blueprint book here, and what we're working on is designing all the blueprints that we need. We have a few of them available, not all of them for sure. Ones that are designed are ready. Green science, blue science, science labs. They're all designed according to 6 per second. And the idea now is to make green circuits, because green circuits will be needed for green science, and then we'll restart it and trying to start it with a design where we only request a science lab, and then see if we can get it to request a science lab. The science lab will request all the sciences. When we then start working on one of the sciences, then it will... Why is there a military science? There shouldn't be military science, right? No. I don't want you. Boop. There. Where's space science? Oops. Rocket fuel. Rocket. Did they let... They get stuck out here. Silly little thing. So. Be pre-built in the center. There will be a hub eventually, but not right now. I think this one has to be like the very end, and then science has to be before rocket fuel and low density. Yeah. No. Because the sequence here is also the priority. This has to be the very last. It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter because nothing happens before they're both done. It's not actually going to be before. Right, so green circuits I think is what we want to build. Yeah. And the work we're doing is looking at design work. This is part of the design work. This is also part of the design work. We'll also build some design work up here. Oh, it doesn't have any roboports. So this will be the first design work. Let me get out of that build mode. Right, so we need to figure out how big do we want to make things reasonably. There. I think we're going to make it with this design in mind. Because it's going to be... No. It's 4. Still not. Whatever. Have you made it so that it makes sure there's nothing in the way of build? No, I have not, because there won't be anything in the way in this part. Can we assume any modules? Nope. If you want to assume modules, then you have to build modules. And that's going to kill the space really, really quickly, because then you need to build like 10 city blocks of solar between you can build one. Also, you'd have to build all the modules in order to get on. So we're not going to do modules anywhere, because building modules would be insanely inefficient, because we have to make the base to actually build it. Good. Six. Maybe that is due to the on-module builds, but since I've recalled it now, it could be beneficial for train traffic to make green circuits directly from ore, because it's about half of all iron copper transfer traffic. That's a really good point, as always. But it's also just not really... Since waterfall can't be deployed with the blueprint, I think otherwise we'll just add a mod that makes a water pump. Yeah, I think that the result would be, it would lower the amount of trains, but it would mean that there would be a hell of a lot of green circuit factories, because they're not going to be very efficient. Like, even let's just take this part, right? This is 6 and 9. Okay. Why can't you request it? Too far? There. So this is how it would be, and that's just not really unmoduled green circuit block are really big, but moduled one take minuscule amount of space. Yes, that is true. So this would be the situation, and I hope that it's pretty clear that this is not sustainable, because this is not really very much. This is only 12 per second, which is nothing. But I'm just and then I'd have to double this as well, and I'd have to double this one as well. Like, I mean, this is doable, right? But I don't think I like it. How much? 12. Yeah, it's nothing. It's this one. Then I'd sort of have to be cutting it off here and then having the rest be up here, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 would kind of be the right number, I guess. Could be, no, it could be drag it a little bit down, but not much. And then I'd have to, I don't know. I think it saves on traffic. Yeah, it does, but it also means I need to build a hell of a lot of green circuit builds. And that I'm also kind of against. What do you guys think? Those cats are a little bit annoying now, but they've been home alone for a while. It's tough to figure out if it's worth it or not. And then it needs to be 2 to 3 the ratio. So that's something with divisible by 5. So that would be like only doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks, for example. But if we're doing the full length, then there's just no room left. Because this one has to be there as the output, for sure. So that's the output. Done. There we go. That's the output. Then probably don't need as much here because it's not coming in as fast. Maybe it could be built like a single module. You have room for 3 smelting columns. 3? The room of the other. Yeah, but I also need like inputs from either side because I'm actually going to squeeze it down further south. Here. 1, 2, 3, 4. How much space? Not enough. No. Because then I'm going to get a train station in here and a train station in here, and they'll go down and then up, down and then up, and that gives us just a little bit of space here. But it could be something like if weird. 15. Huh. So it's either 12 or 15. This one is 15. And how many is it? It's 24. So I need to divide this by 5 and multiply. Damn it, I can't do that. I can't get good ratios. Everything except the top one. 18 point something. Okay, so we can kill the top one. That'll be 18. And the other one should be... what? 9? 8? What's on YouTube? First time watching the series live. What's the reason for no beacons and modules? Because it's blue signs. This is all blue signs and there are no beacons and modules at blue signs. That's how we do things. I want to make sure that we can start it as early as possible. Plus, if I was doing modules and beacons, then I would not be able to support it with solar cells, solar panels. Yes. I'm kind of thinking. Okay. Hear me out. Don't just get out your pitchforks. Would it be a problem if this was a sushi belt? Could it be unbalanced? If it was at the right balance. There we go. I don't think it works because I can't hit the perfect ratio, and if I can't hit the perfect ratio, then it's gonna inevitably go wrong. Well, everyone's left anyway, so I don't care. I don't care. I can be as obscene as I like. I could also just make it so that one side is iron and one side is copper. That would also be a thing. Oh, of course, it doesn't make a difference. And then I need to say, if this is 18, no, it's not. It's half as much. There. 9 and 6. So I need to get to 6. Yeah. So this ratio here would fit into building this part. Why? What? Why are you deleting them? Just make more copper smelters. Kind of the same thing. If I keep these here, then I have too much iron. So you're saying build more copper. Exactly how is that any different? It's exactly the same. Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out if this is a good idea. There's also the other part of it. Like now they're coming in on one belt or out on one belt like this, which kind of would imply that I'd want to make it like this. Yeah, and then that'll be the output, right? And then I need to double it and double this as well. And then we can kind of say, more on this side, less on this side. Isn't that kind of, what if I could take this part down here? I can't though. Use starting system of copper wire by red inserter. Use direct insertion of copper wire by red inserter. Right across this, yeah. I don't think that's gonna work, but this part was also like an option of just keeping it flowing upwards. We're just basically just seeing if we can make like a slim model here that gets stuff done and moves it up and stuff like that. It doesn't really feel correct. And these will then have to be here. I mean, I suppose I could flip it. Yeah, whatever. Huh, doesn't even work. But then I can't do that. They have to be here. No, it doesn't work because this one also needs to get from the same belt. Oh shit. That sucks. The whole idea of having them on the same belt doesn't really work. I'm gonna show you why. Like, if we start by making this part. Well, technically we could do it like this. That's gonna be absolutely atrocious. Then it would work. No, it wouldn't work. This one still doesn't have anything. If I made it like this, then this one doesn't get anything. So I can't get from this part here into both and then also grab something in the middle. Like, this would be like, oh, that's fine, that's fine, and that's fine, and that's fine, but this is not fine. And then it would have to be like, that goes as the outside, or even like this, for example. But, okay, there's a lot of things I don't like about this. Mainly, this section is idle. And then we can't, de facto, we can't do the other thing. So how, oh, let me see. $15 to 6. 15 to 6 is not a good ratio. Could also put wires on a belt. Yeah, it's not that much in terms of wire, is it? It's 18, so it's more than half a belt. That means it's a full belt. I was kind of thinking, could I do it here? But not really. Not really. Because I was thinking, could I just have these down here and then put them back out on the belt? But I'm like, where is that belt? That would have to be out here. And then we kind of lose the point of having it a slim build. This build is already too long for us to work. because of the ratio between iron and copper. Module, this makes a lot more sense. Then it's almost 1-to-1. Yes. I mean, this is just making it... The other alternative is to have, I don't know, 3 columns of copper, 2 columns of iron, and then just to have those all mixed together. That's another way of looking at it. Right? This one was 15 deep. That's a little bit more than I like. But what if it was... a little difficult to get this right. How many? Way too many. 16. What? This is 12. So, if this was all doing the same thing, which it is not. $15. So I need 3 of these. And that could go into what exactly? Three of those would be 45. 45 is just still not a good number. This module is the smallest module, which jumps by... I mean, that's 10 of these modules, I guess. Yeah, okay. So I need 10 of these modules. Okay. 6 green circuit rows, 3 copper rows, and 2 iron rows. Then only the 1 to 3 iron spread is weird. 6 green circuit rows. I don't... what? How much? What? It depends on how many... Hey, Hazardous, thank you for the 23. 23 is my lucky number. Alright, well, hopefully you'll advance to 24 next month anyway. I mean, Mark, when you're saying that 6, you're just... You don't... Yeah, okay. Numbers don't add up. Good. Good. That's also what I was looking at. Hey, Silver Cecil, thank you for the 200 bits. I'm just trying to figure out if this could be a thing. Like, what if we then built, like, this? And it's easy to just build a little bit more once we have something, but this is just not sustainable because it doesn't support the input into the other one, right? This part. That can't work. Unless it was something as awful as this. Nah, it doesn't work that way then. It doesn't work either way, no matter what. It just doesn't work. There's just nothing, no way of getting this to work. They have to be like this for them to work. Which also means iron and copper have to come in on different sides. Yep. Here's another interesting quirk. This is also technically a thing. It takes a lot less space, which is a thing, I guess. And then that will be just the output. Put the green circuits one up and do a corner pair of inserters for the middle wires going up. Wow. What if you put the... You move the... What? You can do both copper and iron as underground. Nope. Because you can't get the copper into that one. So. Line the green circuits with the top wire assembler. I'm just gonna do it from the other side like that. And then you'd want to have this one sort of in here. It's not gonna work. There'll have to be some kind of connection like this. Yeah, no, it can't be aligned because it needs to have input from. Well, can it? Yeah, I don't know what you're looking at. Then this one is useless and this one is useless. Yeah, sorry. If you want to do something, then share a blueprint on Factorio bin. I am just not smart enough to understand. Like, no, two slices up. It's going to be too much work for me to try to understand it, and it's still not working. Yeah.
Our illustrious
Come on, thank you.
returns. Welcome home.
Grundig, thank you for the tier 3 for 28 months.
Welcome
Suddenly
home.
28 Factorial. It was done Factorial. Sorry, or some kind of scribbles or something, but it's just I'm spending. I know that I'm going to spend too much time like, no, up, no, down, no, 2 steps over, and then I'll never get it anyway. Hey, Triplex, thank you for the 1,000 bits. Thank you. So this could be a thing. This is supposed to have weird build. Sure. I think this is also a weird build. I don't know if it's supposed to, but it's just, why not? If we come up with something new and innovative, then let's embrace it. Yeah. All right, so there is now a hype train. This is going to be only hype train for the month, or for the first hype.
Illustrious champion
I don't know.
returns.
It's my best chance of
Welcome
getting a hype
home.
train this month. That's what I'm saying. Oh, this is so close to hitting all of it, but exactly not. Huh. And DDKS, thank you. So if we look at this, this is going to take 9 iron in, or 9 copper in. This is going to take 9 copper in. This is going to take 6 iron inbound. So doubling this would be nice, but then it gets a little bit too big. But it's also like an option of just saying, I'll have one of these builds in the middle. 24. No, I can't build it bigger than this. Oh, 30. So this is exactly 1 belt. You'd really want 2 of those in a setup like this, right? But there's no way that we can get that done. But if we could somehow, through that and that, that would be. The month has just started, right? Yes, it has. But there's been no activity this week, so I'm kind of putting my faith in a Factorio to sort of carry the weight for the month, but or at least for the week. That would be 30 and 45. 30 is, and this one was 15, so I need 3 of these. Oh, that's just for this part. Here. And then basically those two here. And then I'll have to grab all of it, which I can't do. This is what we need. This is the size of it. And then we need to figure out if we can have one unloading station. This is an unloading station. Yes, that's actually a copper unloading station, so let's grab that. Nope. Okay, Skippy, thank you for the 41 months. Good to see you. Thank you, Skippy. And then we're up to 9%. Okay, so let's see if we can do this and then wrap it on the inside instead. Yep.
More shall gather. More shall enter the fray.
My savior. Thank you, Barthak, for the 10 gift subs. Wow, suddenly some progress on this. It's going down to the 1 minute warning.
Our illustrious champion.
Thank you so much, Barthak, for supporting and keeping the train alive. Slug Magic, thank you also for 17 months. So we're up to 1 minute left and 18% left on the train. Yeah, 1300 bits or 3 subs to complete level 2.
Tales of our
Everlist, thank you so much for 5 tier 3 subs. That's certainly more than that was needed. I think the cheers, isn't it just... It's just cheer, not cheers. Unless, of course, you're just trolling, then by all means. Thank you. That made a lot of progress. That's 25 gift subs.
More shall gather. More shall enter the fray.
I don't think this is actually enough. We're gonna need 45 in, so we need 2 trains. Yeah, 2 here. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Well. Did we skip level 3? Yeah, we did skip level 3. Yeah, we did skip level 3 because Everlist 25 sub equivalent skipped all of tier 2 or all of tier 3 pretty much. And Grundig, thank you for nudging it along with 200 bits. And then Sander, thank you for 10 gift subs. That is 10 first gift subs of the community. Absolutely amazing. You have exactly the space to unload trains on both sides. Be here. Just taking the steps. Yeah. Level 3 is bad luck. Well, then we get there. Yep. 1 tile off. Luckily, it's 1 tile off in the right direction this time. All right, so let me say this when we are looking here at a potential, we're level 3.5. If we get to level 4, no, if we get to level 5, then I will add 1 extra hour to the stream. And boy, have we missed streaming for a bit here. Taking several days off, so. Hello, Wolfie. Fur Light. Right, so let's see what we can do in terms of a little bit better unloader than this. This is a better unloader, but is it too ambitious for what we have? Kill this. We can always get power lines afterwards. This one. Yeah, this is getting a little bit too close for comfort. Oops. Double-sided train couldn't unload. How? Alright, so the train is coming down to 1.5 minutes. I hate to see it run out of steam as we are designing our way here. I'll try. Yeah, I could do the one here that's... where is it?
More shall gather.
Thank you so much.
More shall enter the fray.
More shall enter the fray. Mark, thank you for 25 gift subs. Thank you so much. That is a massive boon. What I'm hearing you say was that it could be done like this. I guess this is what you meant. Which I honestly think is better. And then that will be actually 2 trains out. Oh, it goes up because it needs to go down. So kind of this way. Yeah, definitely better. I like it. Very good. Then I need to bring those 2 lines out and then switch them to 2 to 3 over here. And then these 2 just go in here. Yep. Oh, then they go up and then they also have to go down here. Okay, so that means we're actually at a level 4 hype train. I don't know what's left for this one to get us an extra hour. It is 37 subs to the next hour. That's a long way to, but it could be, it could happen. Could happen. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm gonna kill this one here. Well, Bartek, 1,000 bits. It's getting closer. Let's count it down. Count it down. 35 subs. As you can hear, I wouldn't mind an extra hour today. It's been, I mean, on the other hand, I am excruciatingly exhausted and I still haven't even emptied my car. I have no battery in the car. I haven't even plugged it in. All my dirty laundry is still in the back of the car because I didn't have time for it. Just, it's a mess. So getting to bed too late is also not great, but hey, if that's where we're gonna go, that's exciting. Do we think there's a right balancer here? You could turn belts of smelting assemblers columns to invert it. Okay, so it goes up. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I guess. I'll try that just for show, even though it feels wrong. Whoops. Where's the middle of this? There. 2 minutes left on the train. We need some cheerleaders in chat. Someone who goes like, come on, we can do it. Less than 2 minutes? Exactly, like Mark is saying. Come on. Come on, guys. We can do it. Guess we'll... Would this work? Or would that be like too weird? Yeah, but it can't be Barthik all the time. There. That'll be oversaturating the middle one. 60 seconds. It's 35 subs. Yeah. So, no extra hour for today, it looks like. There. Tomorrow is yeah, Stipe. Yeah, don't wait until too late, but that's okay. Kind of have that up. Yeah. Hold on. What the hell am I doing here? This goes out as 45. And 30 seconds. Yeah, it's perfect ratio. Yeah, I guess. And that's Mark with 10 subs. That's amazing. But a little bit too late to get anyone to go like, all right, well, now I'll do it the rest. Thank you so much, Mark. And that's it. Thank you for your support. Very nicely done. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. I know, but now I'm rotating it back, just to confuse everyone. But I don't like that. What a shame. Yep. It's rare that it ends on level 4, but that's okay. Sometimes it's like this. There. Yes. Yeah. Well, actually, rotating smelters was actually better. Because then it got in at the closest side and got out on the closest side. The substation fits in the middle. It does, but then it doesn't reach everything. It still doesn't reach that one. So it'll save this, but it still needs something over here. So, slight improvement. See, this one I don't like. Because the middle one will get too much, and then overall it'll probably be fine. Now this one, how do I build this in? Light. 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 That sucks. That sucks. Substation can't reach. It either goes one side or the other side. But it can't reach both. That's why I don't like substations. Then I'd have to build here and here. And I guess that's it. Rex Numitor, thank you for the prime and welcome.
We are building an army.
Hello. Come on. No? I must have forgotten like several breaks. Come on. I just grabbed the cat. There we go. Hello. So, a short visit from Speedy. Can you hear it? I don't know if it counts as noise for the noise cancellation. The purring from the cat. It's very loudly purring. Yeah. I miss you too. I guess you haven't missed me quite as much as I missed you. You missed me a lot until I fed you, and then you didn't quite miss me as much, did you?
Our illustrious
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for the
welcome
13 months. Nice planning for an automated factory. I'm back to Factorio thanks to you. Oh, nice. By wiggling the center, yeah, you can wiggle the center thing, I think, but I don't like it. Wiggle, wiggle. Did they misbehave? A little bit. They managed to get in my way and get into my my clothes, and they've been jumping up on top of my clothes and then pulling it out of the cabinet. But I mean, if that's all, then that's fine. This is the squiggly, right? But then like this. Yep, that's Kitty using the boom stand for a scratching stick. Right, so I guess we can do this, right? That will just go in here, this one will keep going in here. What? Wow. Alright. I hear you. Then that should be... Yeah. 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 No. There. Looks better. Okay. No enough cats that destroyed the sofa because they were left alone for a weekend. So I guess just playing around with the closet is fair play. I guess so too. Yeah, it's kind of agree to that. But then again, that's all the misbehaving I have noticed so far. And as you kind of indicated, I have not spent a lot of time at home since coming in the door, and starting up the stream was, well, not much time. Yeah. And that goes in here, the other one goes in here. I think this might be it, and then we'll have this one. It's a single line going out. Well, this is a little bit too much, to be honest. We definitely don't need 2 of these, do we? How is it? Shift C. There we go. A train will have 8,000 in each wagon. 10 by 4. That's 4,000 times 200. So it's 8,000, so it's 16,000 divided by 30 per second. That means it takes 533 seconds to fill up a train. That's 8 minutes, which means that if I have 2 trains here, it's going to be a little bit silly that it takes 18 minutes to fill it up. To know if the expansion works, or do you design everything, be surprised? No, it works. It already works. I have tested it. It expands. It does what I want it to. This priority thing is working. So what I need now is build some modules and then have it not just build what I have told it to build, but build what it perceives, what it identifies as the most necessary thing in order to progress the science. So having 2 trains up here is a little bit silly when this is as little as comes in, right? Then says, no worries, no worries. It's a fair question because it's kind of the big thing about this. Oh, how I don't like this. Because that means I just need 1. Is there a way to have a waiting station for empty trains so that they won't stay at the unloading station when the loading one takes too long to have resources? All trains will be idling at their loading stations. So they'll be at the loading station filling up until ready to go out. There's no value in having them stay somewhere else because the time that they spent somewhere else, they might as well spend it at their loading station. Either they will be loaded and ready to go, or they will be waiting and thereby slowly loaded. Prioritize one. Does it make sense? Hey, Triplex! The hype train conductor. To fill the rest of the space with solar. No, it does not. It does not. Not worth it. I don't think so, at least. No. Just kind of figuring out what. I'm cooking some soup while listening, but the induction plate is messing with the Bluetooth ears. Oh, that sucks. I'm gonna take a break soon. I guess we just kill one station. I just can't reasonably say that we should have more than one station here. The only reason would be for idling. Crap. I just hit it one more than I needed. I think that's this one that got disappeared. Are you kidding me? Get out. put a little thing in the way so that the door doesn't close, but they play with the thing I put in the way so that the door closes, and then they go like, meow, meow. Cats. Nope, there will not be beacons or modules. Doesn't make sense to do in this case because beacons and modules, you have to create the beacons and modules, and you have to create a stupid amount of solar panels to support it. Both of those makes this completely impossible. Plus, if you can make a base that self-expands to the point when trains become the bottleneck, then you have won. Making the same thing that with modules and beacons proves nothing additional. It doesn't give us extra value by also having it. It goes like, oh, it's a little bit more, but making a self-expanding base that can expand up to 500 signs per minute, I don't know, I'm just guessing, is impressive. Making a self-expanding base that can take 20 times as long time but can spend up to 1200 or 1500 is not impressive. I'm going to take a break because my cats are going absolutely crazy in here. Be back in a bit. Take a Microsoft survey in the break because Windows has decided that it should be even more annoying. So once in a while it goes like, would you recommend Windows to a friend or family member? And then you just have to go, no, because Windows fucking sucks when you start spamming me with random notes about OneDrive, about ads, about surveys. Leave me the fuck alone. I want an operating system. I don't want a questionnaire and an ad service on top of that. Windows 11, indeed. Yep. Linux. Well, I do like playing games, so not an option. But there are 3 games that actually work for Linux. Yeah, great. Good luck. Hmm. I used to be a Mac nerd, and that was back in the 90s, and I would also insist that Mac was perfectly fine to play on because there were at least
Our
3 games that
illustrious
worked on
champion
Mac.
returns.
And you could also use an emulator that worked like shit. I mean, that kind of barely worked sometimes, but if you're really fanatical, you could kind of squint your eyes and pretend that it was a good solution. So yeah, I know the coping mechanisms. And they don't work on me. So this is kind of a way to do priority. Right? Kinda Cube, thank you for the 24 months. Could have used you a bit earlier. So, we think this works. This is kind of a way to do priority. So it'll go into the first one first, well, obviously. These ones we'll call green sockets. Yep, that's what it is. There. This one will be... Actually, that is copper. Was late. I had to put my oldest dog down. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh no. Yeah. It's not copper, it's copper ore. You're right. And that actually means that's copper ore. Let's try and figure out how much copper ore we want. Let's look at this one. How much copper ore do you request? You're saying when it's less than 15,000 or when it's less than 5, but it also has twice as many blobs here. So, how much do we have in each? 2,000, no, 2,400, 800? 2,400. 4,800, 9,600. 9,600 in this. No. It's also 8 here. So it's 19,200 is the maximum. So when it's less than 15, we can send down in, I guess. Because the train will only bring in 4,000. Yeah, so that should be fine. And then this one will say when it drops below, let's say 2,000, then it sends a signal that it wants more copper in the network. Don't forget the train names. Yep. This one is copper ore inbound. There we go. And let's see. This is the... Ah, right. This is not connected to the green wire up here. These two are connected to green, but this is not. Good. So the green one is the one that's supposed to go over here. Oops. Yep. And then the red one is going up into the station from... This is the L one, and this one is not going anywhere. This has to go out on what belt? What? On the green. The green is requests. This will tell the priority that we need more ore in the network. Not super helpful because we can't really get it, but does something. There. And the other one goes up here and out into the network. Yes, so this is now communicating that it wants one of those each. Good. This station looks okay. And then I need to actually build stations here and here. And this one will be because I need a station that says green inbound. Do I even have that? No, I don't have it yet. Why do I not have it? I know why. Because I'm not technically needing it, because someone persuaded me to build the green circuits in here. Alright, whatever. It'll still be fine. You are going to go to this one until full, and then you're going to go to this one until empty. Go. There. That'll be part of the blueprint. This should now be the blueprint for the green circuits. Here. Copy. Green circuit per sec. Train stop names, trains, all that stuff. Good. So that's one more done. But we need to test it to see if it actually works in this context. So we'll build it with some infinite stuff. This one will go to copper. Good. This one is going to this is going to be iron. Yeah. I don't think it works. Just a thought I have here. Yeah. This one will be overfilled, and then it'll back up, and then the other one should be sort of getting there eventually. Our belts aligned? What do you mean by aligned? They're not balanced. Copper iron? I don't know what you mean aligned. Aligned, yes. Like, you mean like equally far down, up, or both on the top and the bottom? They're at the same, exact same location. That part? Okay. Yes. And this whole thing should now be neutral. Yes. Lots of zeros. Good. I'm wondering if these will ever have problems outputting, because Like, this is clearly not 100% full belt. So, what be the problem? That looks awful for UPS. Why? What is awful for UPS? Like, this minor, not full belts is never going to be UPS constrained. Not full belts. It's super easy to fix, and it will be full belts eventually, because as soon as it, I mean, from here on and from here on in, they cannot be full belts. It's only this part that potentially could be full belts, but that doesn't really matter at all. So you're really talking about like this little teeny tiny thing that's could be full belts, that isn't. Plus, if it ever stalls, then it'll stay at pretty close to full belts. And I wouldn't say it's awful for UPS, but if you're really UPS constrained, then it might be a little bit of a place to salvage a little bit of UPS. But not much. And then if we look at it, this one has 270, this one has 1.8 or 1. Yeah, 1.9, 2.0. So it's also working quite well as a priority. Yeah, it's not UPS focus based design, definitely not, because then I wouldn't be using small trains. You can't really UPS optimize something and still running around without beacons and modules. So, but I think this looks pretty good, right? It's also fairly symmetrical, considering it's a 3 to 5, 3 to 2 to 3 ratio. Good. Is it gonna work? If we think, you know what I need? I need to definitely save. There you go. Because now what I should be doing is I should optimize this part. And these two. Oh no, that doesn't work. Okay, so that just got deleted. But it didn't get deleted correctly. Shit. Now there's residuals here. Good thing we took a save. Copper-sidedness looks disturbing. Or is it? Yeah. But then iron must be the same. Oops. What? Don't know how it fixed the iron part. Yeah, don't forget to update the blueprint. Good point. Don't really like this.
A kind gesture.
Hey, Arclight. I played like 80 hours in the last 2 weeks, and I've been watching your videos. They're great and very informative. Just wanted to say thanks. Thank you for the 250 bits. Thank you. Hope you are, well, I mean, of course you're enjoying it. Sounds like it. Yeah, and then there. That's the design we're looking for. Does that make any sense? I don't know. Maybe. Question is, can I also do this? It's too close. I guess that's fine. 2x2 balancer won't fit. But this can't be done with a 2x2 balancer, and this one could be done with a 2x2. Let me see if I can remember how to build that. Not really. Then I'd have to take this down and beat that. Yeah. I'll take this. Go. Look at all these. Oh no. That was no good. Because obviously I don't want this. This. Yeah. Good. And we'll save again. Okay, so now I think I want to just start over. And then give it a whirl and then have it, yeah, okay. Let's go down here. No, I can't do that. Why is it? So it is just broken, these ones. There's just nothing to do about it. They're just broken. I'd have to uninstall this mod. This mod seems super fragile anyway. Yeah, sucks. There. Okay. And the very last thing we're going to prioritize building is science lab. Science slabs. Except that I just feel that science labs should always be active. Because that's the whole point, is that it will, if it gets to the end, then it means that it must build more science. But let's see. Alright, let me try and see how many we actually have on this list. We have 21, which is about what we have in the blueprint here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So we need to have rockets. Should that be a silo? Nah. Oh my god, those stupid cats. They closed the door again. Ah. There we go. Let's do a rocket like this. That's kind of easier to manage, even though it's not exactly the same kind of rocket, but... Or let's do a satellite, actually. That would be better. Where's the satellite? It's there. It's weird. Yeah. And then yellow signs, purple signs, blue signs, and green signs. Satellite token is kind of expensive. Ah, yeah, I know. That's also why I'm... For now, don't care. It's the principle of the thing, right? You can make a fish. Yellow signs. I'm not really sure this idea is super good because it means that you have to produce one of those things before you can actually enable it, which is not really a viable setup. So it might have an inherent flaw in that regard. Just handcraft. Yeah, but that's kind of what we want to avoid generally, right? Don't want to have a fully automated base relying on handcrafting. Doesn't sound fully automated to us then. Yeah. And then it's low density, rocket control. I think we actually need to switch them. Low density needs to come first, so it's rocket control units now. Rocket fuel. We are expecting problems of token generation. It's by design. Yes. It's not a bug, it's a feature. LDS. LDS, LDS, and LDS. There. Okay. So that part, then it's blue, red, green. Here comes the green that we just built. For no reason, by the way. Well, we need it for the red ones. We need the red ones for the blue ones, so. And then battery, sulfuric acid, plastic. Don't like that these are coming before the other ones. Batteries. Sulfuric acid. No, sulfur. No? What? Yeah, it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be sulfur sulfuric acid, so we'll take the solid one because, you know, it's kind of hard to put that token, a liquid token. And then this is plastic. Honestly, this is literally plastic. And then that's brick smelting, which are... Yep. And now they knocked something down. I don't know. Since it could not be handcrafted and required liquid, like batteries. Yeah. Then we'll have to... We can use any token we want for these things to run around. So we could also just do A to Z, but it just feels a little nicer this way. It's 3 there. Then sulfur. And then a battery. One. Then a green circuit. We don't have that. Then a red circuit. And a blue circuit. And a low density. Low density. And one of these. Green signs, blue signs. No. Well. Green signs. Blue signs. Purple signs. Yellow signs. Satellite. Really expensive, don't care. And a lab. There. So now everything is primed so that one of them is in. This one is setting up the priority on what we want. This is the disabler, I think. And it's all set to 0. And then I need to... Ah, right. And now it's set again. Okay, so reset and set. And this one should be... Whoops. Oh well. I think we start by just making 2 of these. And then nothing else is requested. Oh, it has to be negative. And the only thing that's requested aside from this is... This one should just be an infinite number, but we'll just do 2 just to see if it actually prompts the next part. Alright, Solda, thank you for joining. Tell you tomorrow. Remember, tomorrow is Darkest Dungeon release day. What is this? 2, 3, 4. What am I? What am I doing here? What is this one? What is this doing? I'm not getting it. What did this one do? Yeah, but this is the test load, yes, but this is here to decrease the other one. Because I don't think I decreased them normally. So right now, if I just press this one, then I have -2, but I won't have... I won't have, yeah, let's see. I need this one as a pairing as well, I guess. And then that needs to match up here also for sort of further test purposes. So, damn, that's gonna be complicated. Oh dear. This is set to 2, but I don't like it being set to 2. I don't think this one should be the top one. This power should be 1, and the infinite ore should be 2. So this one has to be 1. First blueprint. This is second blueprint. Right? 1, 2, and then it's 7, 8, 9, 10. 7, 8, 9. And then it is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 13, 14, and 15. And then 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 19, 20, 21. 22, 3, 4, and 25. 25. Now we can calculate it, but I want to count it out. 27. 28. 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. No. 31 for this. 27, yeah, 31, 32, nope. And 34. And 35. And then the number 35, and then this is 37. Oh yeah. Let's what? Arclight, you guys have any tips on playing with someone who isn't very familiar with the game? I always feel bad for going back and fixing, cleaning up what a friend has made. Yeah, that's why I don't have friends. Brick smelting. Copper. Sulfur. Let's see if I can remember. Battery. Green. Red. Blue. LDS. Fuel and rocket control. After rocket control, it is green, blue, purple, yellow, and then final science. Hey. And now we just need to fix the other part. I don't know how much I'm going to use this, but it's good to have it. so that we can easily test, and we know that whatever we want to test, it will work. Oops. I don't even remember what it does, but I just remember that it had to be like this. 14, and then this is 15. Battery equal 15. Green is equal to 19. Yeah. No, I honestly, I want to help out with your question about how do you get someone who's worse than you to stop playing the game. What the hell? Like, yeah, 21, yeah. But it's, or get them sort of started. And I can't do it because I get annoyed about these kind of things. So, 25? Let's check that LDS is 25 here. Yes, okay. And for me, I can't just let someone else's junk be staying there. Then I'll go fix it, and yeah. 27. Yeah. So it's I know it's a me thing. I have a difficulty time with just accepting it. That's why I don't have a meaningful advice for it. If you don't care about what that the basis looks bad, as long as it kind of works, then by all means give them some task that you go like, okay, how about you make sure that you make a train line and get some more copper back here, then it's all good. Then that's definitely not it. But if you're going to be fixing that copper line afterwards, then probably not going to be a happy time. There, 5, and the final one here. 37. There we go. So it's set -2 labs and -2 power. We just start with the power. I really don't like the power part. I really don't like that I can't do it as solar panels. I'm gonna have to do it as solar panels because this is just stupid. It's just too confusing for me. I know we're gonna eventually have a solar panel build, I guess. But solar panel just makes more sense for me. The other one just got really annoying to look at and confusing for me. So we'll do this, and then we'll, as any good programmer would say, we'll deal with that later. There. Okay. And I think that's... Nope. There, -2 of each. What? Oh shit, it's starting. Nope, don't do that. Yeah. Is this working? Shouldn't this work? This is, Oh, here's also a sign here. Set that as solar panel. Set that as solar panel. If it's less than 30, send a solar panel signal. This one, if solar panel signal, then send... What? What the hell? What does that mean? What? This doesn't make any sense. What the hell is this? Just put a fix me in code, it'll be fine. Yep. Boiler instead of solar panel. Ew, no, that makes even less sense. I wonder what this is supposed to do. Why does it say, and what does it do? Oh, this resets when it is building. Oh, right. This is the reset condition here is building, and this is 2 now, but that's not correct. 1, 2. It'll be reset actually 1. Oof. So that means anytime we build a new power, I will reset this condition, and it might trigger again. This one will, which one goes out? Where's the out? It doesn't go out anywhere. Now this one, what? Oh, it's not powered. All right, so let me just we're testing it. This one now has an output signal of 1, which means it is stored as 1. That means build 1 of these. Yes. Yeah. So if it, basically what this does is, if it drops below 30%, then it will tell the system build another block, and it will keep that command until this condition is reached, or for as long as this condition is not reached. And this condition is the fact that build another one. So I think it works. It just needs to go from here back into that network. Ooh. And I don't know why this one is set to that. It should be set to this. Which makes sense. And now it goes up to 3. What? It goes on the red line. It should not be on the red line. It should be on the green line. It's not correct at the combinator for power or and copper. Okay, thanks. That's sharp of you. And that goes now up to 3, which is not where we really want it, but power or iron and copper. There's 7 and 8. They should be fine. What? 7, 8. That one's not. Should be 9. We will need solar panels and accumulator for satellites, and we don't have the blueprint for spot on. Will we build them on site? I don't know, but yes. I think that's my idea, but I don't think that's a good idea either, because we're also going to need them for, you know, all of this crap. So we probably need to have a dedicated solar panel build, which to me is going to be the same place as building a hub. But I don't know. So that's why I haven't really figured it out. And if that's the case, maybe I'm definitely going to build them together, and then I'll just use the accumulator sign for that, and the solar panel sign for the power, I guess. All right, let's see. This one was 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. And then I'll go up here and check if they're correct up here. 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I think they're okay now. The combinator for red signs is not there because red signs is part of the green signs. So it's red and green signs. That is why. And if I look here, this one is built and it doesn't have any of the other ones. So now I'm going to take a save again. Then we are pretty much ready. That means now I will harshly delete everything out here. Harshly delete everything up here. And anything out here. A little bit of clean up here. Deleted all production block. Was that intended? Was it not intended? I don't know. I think that's intended. I think. I want to see it if that's the case. Because the ore production block should be requested automatically. When it gets to iron, then it'll realize that it doesn't have iron, and then it'll request the other one. So let's give this a shot. Let's make sure that we have everything ready. This one should now just be put in here, but I don't want to do that. Oh, it's not ready because just hold on. Reset. That's reset to 0 by 0. Yeah, if I put it here, then it will actually increment once before it goes in, and I think that's a mistake. You are safe to go in here because this is idle. Why is it idle? I have robots. Weird number of robots, but fine. Okay, so that only enables when there's a discrepancy. And I actually shouldn't put it into this box. I should put it directly into this box because otherwise it will increment here by 1. How do I even get it started? I guess I get it started by also... Oops. I seem to remember that I should have like... Wasn't there a way to make a... Make like a sign... Oops, a sign on top of something? Enter in token to start. There. Should not be enter, should be place. There we go. And this is just not going to be correct if I place it here. I need to place it so that it gets into that one, but I can't. That would have to move the whole thing. No. Right, I guess not. I'll just have to remember to place it here. Boo. Save. Oh shit, that's not what I meant. That's just not what I meant. Damn it. Maybe it should increment. I just don't know. Yeah, it should increment first. Yes. Place blue Blueprint book here. And then basically when we... It's taking a lot of saves. Didn't take any saves in the beginning, but... Oh yeah, that's not how it works. It is how it works, apparently. Okay, so that's a solar panel. Yep, we got a solar panel, and it'll get stuck here. Yeah? Why are we not building anything? We have lots of stuff. Oh, it's idling. It's stupid idling. Lazy bots. Yeah, when they haven't been working for a long time, then they're super slow. Do I want to add a few more bots? How many do we have? Nah, we want to go a little bit slow here. So the first thing it does is we can monitor here what it wants to do. It says now it needs to do one more one more power block, and then two more science blocks. Cool. So now it is done. Where is it? Where is it stuck at? I don't get it. Where's that at? There. Oh, it went up to science. Why did it go up to science? Oh, because I was an idiot. Okay, crap. There you go. Those should have been in there. So now it makes a science block. Let's have a look at our location down here, because I think this one is going to be in trouble. Ah, because we're doing this part. Can I take you out? No, I don't want to take you out. I want to take you and just make you like 50 megawatts or something. Just the starter power, something like that. It's still too much. We'll do 5 megawatts of power. We're using 3 point something for this. Yeah, nothing for these. They are idling. Okay. What is the next part? Where are we at? See, now it has enabled all of the science builds. Yes. And it is stuck here. Why is it stuck there? Why is it stuck there? I don't get that. Labs built too quickly? Yeah. I'm also thinking that one. The bots were idle by the time the token went from all the way back here. And that's because we have... I wonder how many of each type we have. Doesn't really give us a good approximation. That's really unfortunate. With items primer. I don't know what an items primer is. I'll have a look. What are we looking at? Oh! Infinity filter. Oh, that's nice. Thank you. That's actually really nice to have that. Oh, cool. Thank you. Thank you, Fox. I love that. Do you still have 3 solar and 7? Well, I just loaded this save again, but if this is when you meant like this one. Boop, boop. I want to then take some of these out and replace them with a lot of good old-fashioned robots. these. So, 200 construction bots. Mm-hmm. Do we like that? No. I'll go 300. 300 normal construction bots, no fast ones. Save again. Cool watching the stream. I'm a Factorio noob who found your YouTube. Awesome, welcome. This is probably not particularly noobish setup, but it's pretty cool. Hopefully, and let's see. So the blueprint is set. This is set 101. So the only thing we're missing is that one. When it goes up here, makes a solar panel. Just barely enough. And then it goes up, waits, because it's making solar panels and they're always slow to get started. Oh, this one I forgot again. 5 megawatt. Changes a lot on the power profile. Whoops. No satisfaction. Can't get no... Why is there no satisfaction here? Oh, it's because of the roboports already. Huh. You are highlighted as a... Yep. You are not happy because our power is not keeping up. Okay. It might be a little bit too low to start with, but let's try it. Also, circuit networks work poorly, to say the least, when circuits are not. It's because we're so much that they spend so much more time and effort on loading or on charging than usual. And they don't usually spend that much time on charging. Come on, slow bots. A few fast ones would be nice, but... Should I get a few fast ones, like 10? I could do that. Okay, so now the power is okay. Because we're now getting more solar panels. That's excellent. But this one has been disappointed once, so it will not be undisappointed until it actually makes another one. So let's see. I have an idea. It's a bad idea, but it's... We're all gonna hate it, but I kind of have to. I just want to hear it go like a beep whenever it starts a new sequence. Right? Read. Pulse. Volume. Global playback. Shouldn't it play? That is the least annoying one. There. Now they're building another. And power should not be getting in trouble here. This is still fine. We don't need this part though. Let's get 10 fast ones in. That might be just helping with just getting things done a little bit. Do you have something to load the fast bots into roboports? Normally I wouldn't expect putting them in the trash slot to help. In the trash slots they don't go into the network. They just disappear. I just wanted to make sure that I only had 10 so I could just do as I did now. Just dragging them onto the map, and then they would go in. So now I have 310 in total. Why do we not have 310? Is that because there's a discontinuity up here? Nope. Or is it because... Oh, right. This one has something in it. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So once this one actually gets enough power to start working, please do. There you go. Then it goes to half, and then that will count as part of the network again. So now we have 310 in total. Beep. That was another one. What are we building this time around? Oh, it's coming down here. Now we want to see if this this is now going to make a science lab. If we look at our here, it says now the only thing we need is 2 science labs. We don't need any more power, which is correct because we have enough power. And ta-da! Science lab gets built, and this one goes faster, like a lot faster. That's fine. It's the question of whether this token can get all the way over here before the robots are done. I think it can now that we're not sort of cheating too much. Cheating a little bit. That makes a science depot. Then if we look at our power, we'll start consuming more power. And it goes up here and gets stuck. Clonk. No! Well, yes, it did get stuck here. Cool. Hey, Solid Bond, thank you for the 32 months. So now we wait until the construction bots are completed. They'll be completed once this is done. And then what we will now see in our network is that now we have 1 science, which is the lowest priority, but then we're also requesting red, we should not request red, green, blue, purple, yellow. There we go. Another cycle is engaging, and that cycle will go in. And as far as I can tell, the first one that will hit is that one, the green science. So now I'll build the green science build. Exciting. If it works, it's exciting. If it doesn't work, then yay! So we'll build a green science build. Green and red science build going down here. Yeah, it will request red, but there won't be any block. So it's a bug, yes, but it's not a it doesn't matter. It has no impact. Okay, so this will also probably start using more power. Okay, still not sort of a troublesome amount of power, but that will get here once we start actually getting requests for other things. Let's see. Now we should be getting new requests. Now it requests iron and copper builds, and iron and copper goes first in the priority list. I have no idea where you're going. Oh, you're going to fueling. What? Really? Weird. Okay, so now it makes an iron build. Should be an iron build, right? Yes, iron build. This iron build will identify that it doesn't have any iron ore. It'll identify that it has iron now. So we'll... Can we remove that? Oh, there's a little bit of a problem on this one. Where are you going? It's so weird. So they're kind of getting placed here, but they go out. I have no idea where this train is going. Oh my god, that's an insane pathing. I'm pretending I didn't see that. So now it's building. This is a bit of a cheat one because this one is actually building. Maybe station was complete after locomotive. That is a good stuff. That's a good point. Now it doesn't really matter, does it? Kind of. Maybe it does. I don't know. This one has no path. I wonder where it wants to go. It wants to go to this one, but it has no path. Oh, because it went in here and then got it. Okay, this one is okay. Yeah. So far, it is happening everything exactly as I expected. Now the next one it'll build is copper, and then I would expect it to start struggling with power. Oh, actually it'll probably struggle with power as soon as it gets the iron trains ready. As soon as they are full, then they'll head out to here and start unloading. And when they start unloading, there we go. We are now building another one that should be copper coming in. That is copper coming in. And now we'll definitely have issues with the iron build as this one fires up. Or we'll have problems with power. I'm sure. I am sure. As soon as this one starts powering, then power cannot keep up. Trains being placed before a station. It probably is. There's copper on iron build. What? Copper. This is the iron build. This is the copper build. Looks fine to me. This is summoned by iron, but it has copper, stone, coal, fuel, and lots of iron. The ore build. There we go. So this is like a hacked replacement for this. Now I should be starting to see issues with power. The A here is still 100. Beep. So now it starts another build. What would that be? That would be a red sign. That doesn't work. So it's blue signs now. That should come all the way up to blue signs. That's the first one that has 2. And power is probably struggling a little bit here. So doesn't that mean that we are discharging here? Yes, we're discharging. We're now to 97, 96. And how's our build here? All of this is working. All of this is working. We don't have anything coming into this part, the iron, red and green signs. So we're kind of moving a little bit too fast. Lights to show accumulator charge level. Yeah, that could be a thing once we stop it. 88%, so it's slowly going down because we're also having... No, we don't have a big buffer. It's just that we don't use a lot of power right now. But as soon as this one gets the first iron and copper inbound, that it's gonna get from here. This is 4.6. Okay, a little more than halfway. And they do have an output, and this is also filling up the copper part. 2.6, 2.6. Yeah, so I think that we're actually building things a little too fast. This is down to 64. What I'm really looking for is... I don't want this to complete. Because right now, the only thing that gets built will now be sulfur. And reds, which you don't have. And steel, which you don't have. But steel will just be a dummy build here because we haven't built the steel build yet. And now the green one got let go. And that goes up here. And how's our science? Our power? Let's go down here. Oh, this has identified that it is struggling. Great. It is getting up again, 65, but it has been less than 30. That means if we look at this part, it should have... I wish I could pause, because I don't understand it. Why is this one not sending a signal out? One output. It says one output here. Why is it gone from the green line? This one is outputting one solar panel, but this one doesn't have a solar panel. Is that because it's -1 somewhere? Shit, I don't get it. I don't get that. Do you share the blueprint for the train lines? Not at this point. At this point, I'm not ready for sharing everything. You set the initial value to -1. Yes, but that has nothing to do with this, does it? Because it was set to -1. And then it... Oh, because I'm still using this test thing here. So that once something is built, it'll also... Yeah, I should disconnect this test build. Now you have to wait a bit. Because I need to figure out what I need to build. I think it's this part here that's not working. And now I'm making... Oh, it's making a solar panel. Oh. Damn, why are we making a solar panel? I mean, this is exactly what I wanted, but didn't we just see that it didn't want to make a solar panel? Don't know. Is the self-expanding only possible with mods? Yes. Because you can't deploy blueprints without a mod. So you need a mod that deploys blueprints. Okay, I think this part here is actually incrementing. This is counting all the stuff that we have built. I think that might be a mistake. I'm gonna let it run now because, yeah. Once this one is back again, and then it'll go beep, and then I have no clue what it's gonna build now. Didn't want to build iron. Sulfur, but that it can't build because sulfur doesn't exist. Oh, but it's just an empty one. Yeah, still. And then they'll build red science. I thought it actually had... Oh, now it's missing... Oh, it's -1 on that. Yeah. This is definitely a problem. But I can't figure out. It's the green one. I need to check out. I think it's the green one. Because the green one is the one that lags back into the network. Yeah. What? The red is decreasing, incrementing, whatever. Yes. This is more like it, I think. No. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense? Yeah, it does make sense. Yeah, it does make sense. Solar panel 2 now. Yes, it's supposed to be solar panel. I think I have to restart it. 10 megawatts to start with, yeah? And then I have to make sure that... Okay, so my problem here is that when I used this part, the test part, it was not listening to what was actually being built in the system. That's weird. Yeah, so it was not listening to what was actually being pressed. It was just hard coding, build this, build this, build this. But now I'm replacing it with build whatever you identify is necessary. So I don't want to have this increment thing active. And that happens when it on the red wire. So it's actually the red wire I need to take out, not the other one. So the red wire goes out, but the green wire stays. The green wire is the one that says you start by making 2 solar panels and 2 science builds. 1 plus that one. And as a result, yeah, I'll try that. And did we have 300 and 300 310. That seems like a good number. And then ready for start. Maybe. This is placed. This is incremented to 0, 1. This is now alarm 2, alarm 2, alarma. I forgot my brake. Oh well. When signal greater than 0. Just that little quiet one. That's okay. I don't know. I wanted to take my break, but we have to end in 40 minutes anyway, so no extra time. Global. Did I forget the global? Yeah. No extra time today. Remember, tomorrow we have a release day of Darkest Dungeon 2 on Steam, so come check that out. I'm just gonna skip my break and then maybe end a little bit earlier. There. There we go. Beep first. That's as expected. I'm expecting that we get 2 solar panels first. At first it has to wake up. So 2 solar panels and then a science location. And then, I don't know, red signs, green signs, whatever. Now they woke up. So, unfortunately, we have to play this a little bit slow so we can see the discrepancies, see that, because there's a lot of race conditions here. You could fast forward the time. Yeah, but I also just need to look at things and see the accumulated charge moving up or down and just get a sense of, are we okay? So I'm honestly not in as much of a rush for this. It's okay if it takes a little bit of time, for me at least. Maybe not for you, but for me it is. And then it will already start. It didn't go beep beep, did it? I didn't hear anything. Did you forget to go beep? Feels like it. Does it know where to place miners? Nope, not yet. It beeped. Oh, right. All right, Everlist. It was just... I didn't beep then. Yeah. So if anyone, mainly of Templars or patron supporters, are interested in getting an early or getting a hero in Darkest Dungeon as we start over, then tomorrow is a good time to get started. If you have someone you want to set your name to, I kind of think that I'd like to, well, maybe, no, I don't know. I was kind of thinking maybe someone should be, whoever got it, then that could be sort of priority for that one, but that's not a good idea, because what if they're not there, and I don't want to naming him again. But if someone is, let's say Everlist is a occultist, then next time we kill an occultist and another occultist, if Everlist is still here, then I think that's a good time to get priority for that. Maybe. Oops, why is there a third one? Huh, that's weird. It keeps going. Oh shit, this doesn't work. It doesn't decrease. It just keeps being 2. Does it even decrease demands? No, it does not decrease demands. And it actually needs this one to decrease demands. That one. That's the only way to decrease the demands here. The other ones will stop requesting. Yeah. But it is weird. Why is this one? Why does this one not get reset? There's something wrong with the reset condition here. Because this one doesn't get reset. The power should figure itself out, but yeah, but it doesn't. Because there's... This one still has a green light here, and we keep building more. But we should not build more because this one is at 100%. So why did this one, or why is this one lighting up? This is lighting up because this is lighting up, but this has not been reset. Yeah, if you do the power demand from the debuff, then it still has 1, because this one still has 1. I don't like it. I have to redo it. Okay, so now I'm going to remove this. There. So the only thing this one contributes with is that. It requesting power. Yes, but it requested power when there were 2, and then it built another one. And at the time it built the third one, it should have turned off the light, and it didn't. That's the problem. So now it starts by saying, I don't request any power, but it has a default setting of requesting 1 power. So as soon as we build 1, we should see that this one reverts back to 0. As soon as it builds, and it does not. So this doesn't work. This condition does not work. So my reset condition is broken. Oh, actually, that looks weird, right? I think it's because... Look at this. The green goes from here to here to here and out here. That can't be right. That just cannot be right. Robot not equal to 1. Change position improvement. Yes, it's now in position 1 for this part. But I think that the issue is that the reset condition should come on the red wire. But if the red wire says reset, but immediately at the same time it's also getting the same input signal, then it only resets for 1 tick and then it's active again, because it gets the line in here on the green wire that goes back into the inserter, and then it stores it again. So it's basically, this is not sending this is not sending a solar panel signal, but this one is sending a solar panel signal back into the input. Hello, Tallman. Does that make sense? It was resetting earlier. Yeah, I think that was when it was not connected back to the network here. So what I need to do is I need to make an insulation thing here between that. That means we need to go back to this one and make a little insulation. There, so it doesn't leak back out. This one will be each to each. So now it 1 1 1, but this green 1 solar panel will not leak back
Our
into here.
champion returns.
That's about. Hey, good gamma. Thank you for the tier 2 for 32 months. How are you? I'm doing great. Lobster mode, as you can see. These do not need to be there. This one can be -1. There. I was honestly hoping that we could have gotten an extra hour today, but that's another time. But that's... Here we go. And I will go here. Startup. Inbound. That gets us some solar panels eventually. Now that will not fucking reset. Why did it not reset? Are you kidding me? It's not resetting. It didn't work. Why does it not work? It's not working. This one should send construction bots 1 on the network. That should be the reset condition. Power still low. It was not low. I did not see anything on this. I did not see any blink here. I have to redo. Okay, so now it's not coming on the... What? Where are you? How? What? I'm just not seeing it. I should absolutely, without a doubt, see that ticking for blinking for 1 signal. Right there, I should see the red signal flashing for 1 tick. Even if it's on 1 tick, it should absolutely be there. There was something. You filter out the reset condition. Okay, now I need to simulate it down here. You are now disconnected from everything. So now I want to see if I can make a push button which will send robot 1 as 1 signal. Okay, it doesn't reset. So at least we know that. That's why. So the reset doesn't work. Here I'm sending it, but it doesn't reset. So the reset doesn't work. Because it's only 1 tick, and this thing takes a tick to calculate, so it needs more than 1 tick for sending the signal. And if I send hold, then it gets all messed up. It resets itself for 1 tick. Yeah, but hold on. This one is not sending any output signals. So the only signal it gets is its own input signal. So a single signal for reset should be enough. And if it's less than 1. I don't understand it. I don't understand it, because that's kind of input count. Why do you say input count? Input count? Like that. It's still there. And then if I can reset it, I have to take that out. So this is turned on. This one has stored 1. And then, not that. Then it turns off. Good. So it's input count. Thank you. Can't believe I missed that. Such a small thing, right? Such a small thing. But this one still says to 1. So that's how it should be. Then I save. Alright. We found the issue collectively. Beep. And now it is no longer requesting any more solar panels. Good. Because this successfully reset. Yes. So now the next time it'll set is when this goes below 30%. Whew. And now we're just waiting for the robots to wake up. There we go. They're coming. So we'll wait for this to complete. I like this one. This is a good idea. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Whew. I have 10 fast robots, but I don't want them to be, if they're too fast, then I get some race conditions that come out in the wrong order. So I do have to do this, and I want to keep doing this. Even slow robots are faster? Oh, right. Yeah. These are faster than normal robots. Yes. Do we know? Yeah, it's the programming of it that it doesn't check robots more than once every X ticks, and X is a very large number. Oh, it just went a beep, right? Didn't it go beep? And then now it goes all the way down because this is the only one with two lights on. Here we go. And that builds the science facility. Oh, that can process 6 science per second, which is just so happens to be exactly what all of our science facilities will build. And then as this gets built, we will be able to see here that it starts requesting other stuff. It'll always request another science lab. That's kind of how I want to perpetuate it and just say, no, if you run out of things to do, just build more science labs, because that will trigger everything else to build more of. And then I guess we should also remove the red one, just for good measure. Would the new system now forget that it needs to build more power if it charges back up? Nope, it'll not. I think. No, because it only resets when it gets the signal that a new robot, a new one is deployed. So that should be green science. Whoa. Oh, right, it's because it's moving down here. It's still slow. So with this one, green science. Looking forward to purple science on the block. Yeah, we'll get it. Don't worry. Yeah, so this one will send a signal when it goes below 30, and even if it sends it just 1, then it will go in here and store it. But I'm actually kind of wondering if it won't be scaling up too much. This might not actually be good. I don't know. Yeah, this will count. Yeah, this is not working. It's 1 again? What's 1 again? It's 1 again. What's 1 again? I don't know. This was not 1 again. But I don't think it works because this one will send it as 1. It should definitely not be input, this one. This one should not be input. This will send as 1, but if it still stays true, then it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and start become a counter instead of becoming a storage. I don't think that's good. Hey, build. Will it not reset on any build? No, it'll only reset on robot equal to 1. That's the only one that will reset on. Because it says it's true. True being it stores the value. And therefore continues to identify that there is a need to build a signal until it gets the signal of robot equal to 1. And robot equal to 1 means that it is a build wheel here. Only had robot. No, only robot has robot equal to 1 means solar panels. Robot equal to 2 means ore. Robot equal to 7 means iron. Robot equal to 8 means copper, and so on and so forth. For example, now we're building iron. So this is robot equal to 7. We're coming in here. Because the robot value is the blueprint number in this blueprint book. That's right there. So now we are building some iron. Yeah. It still requests more iron because it wants to. Because I don't have this buffer filled up. But that also means that it's put in taboo, so it's not going to build it for a while now. Instead, it'll request some raw materials, and that's the next one we should see. We are currently not really consuming a lot of power, so this is not a concern. There we go. That's the infinite ore resources. It simulates a block that has a lot of resources available. So this is a condition, a cheat mechanic in order to get the more interesting thing, all the race conditions, all the contingencies, all the dependencies, all that stuff. And once all that is done, then we can always revert and figure out if we can do this identification. But for now, it's just get some raw resources into the network. Now there's another little problem because the raw resources does not reset, does it? Oh, it kind of will, because once this has enough ore coming in, then it'll stop requesting the construction of another infinite resource build. Yes. Getting filled. And they are coming in here. Unloading. Oh, was that a little beep? I think it was. What are you gonna beep? You're building copper? Okay. That's also good. Now we will start seeing that as this gets built, we will use more power than we have, and I am pretty sure we should start seeing this become a problem. This is the accumulator, infinite accumulator, always working. Now the accumulators will start working. That means it's discharging. It's discharging to 90%. And that's with all of this working. So now it's discharging faster than it can charge. And as the robots keep charging as well, then we're going to have trouble. Once this goes below 30, I want to see this, because I suspect this is not going to work, because this will now become a counter instead of becoming this company there with the solar. Because of this, it will not have a problem when you have the counter. Okay, what's going on? Hello, Lupin. Welcome. Just the combinator diode with the solar greater than 0 equal to 1, because I'm not sure I understand that. Okay, so once this one drops below 40, no, below 30, then we will see the problem. Why is it not dropping below 30? Because it is solar power, and accumulators not really using anything, but now they are starting using again, and now it goes down. As it goes below 30, we'll see if it breaks or if it works. I think it breaks. I think this becomes a counter. Yep, it's a counter. Fuck. Damn it. And that unfortunately means that we need quite a few solar panels built right now. I don't know if it resets it to 0, because if it does, then it's not a major issue. But if it doesn't, then this might be a little bit of an issue that we want 1,000 or several thousand. Okay, now we have a bigger issue. The fact that it is completely dead on power. Yeah, completely dead, but it's kind of deadish. We built the last bits, and then once they are idling, then the next solar power gets built. And as it gets built, did this one reset? Yes, it reset, but then it starts rocketing up again. And now we'll actually be starting to work. It's actually not that big of a deal. It kind of is. It kind of works right now, but I don't want it to be a counter. I want it to just be a boolean yes, no. What? What's going on? What are we building? What? Why did it get stuck there? Oh, I don't understand anything anymore. Nothing makes sense. No insert movement. Not enough power for integrate, yeah. Alright, so we have to go back. Two things. First of all, I need a better solution for this. Fox, you had an idea. I don't understand a lot the stuff you explained. If you can, like you did before, make a blueprint for me, I would love to use it. But I don't understand combinator diode. That's this one with solar power equal, and then it's like solar equal greater than 0. I don't know, because there's nothing here that this one should be. I don't know. If solar equal greater than 0, then 1 solar. Yeah, I don't understand it. It's the thing is, this one is, before you got me to change it. Should the brain be on a separate power network? Maybe it should, but I don't know how to get that done. For the combinator blocks, looks like there's pollution from outside, since it's a simple memory cell, which should work. No, it's not. There's no pollution outside. That's not it. It's because I make the memory cell incorrectly. The memory cell only works if you receive it as a single tick. If you receive it as a constant stream, memory cells become a counter. That's how it works. That's the reason why the memory cell is no longer a memory cell if it's yeah. If the memory cell receives a 1 tick, that's fine. If it receives a continuous signal, then it becomes a counter. That's kind of how it is. And I don't want to add more combinators on top. I want to reduce it because it can be reduced. I don't know why. How? I want to basically go like it's a set reset, right? It's an SR latch. If this one drops below 30, then it gets set, and the reset condition is that it receives this is the reset condition, and the A less R, and this is the set condition. So I don't know how to do that. How do we build the proper SR latch? I built them, and I can't remember it. Cool, thanks, Fox. So what is this? Okay, so you're saying if a is less than 30, perfect. Then it goes in here. If this is 1, input count, and then that is coming from... Oh, that's kind of cheating. No, I don't like that. Nah. No. Because this is basically allowing it to continue to scale up, and then just going like, oh yeah, whatever. It's basically turning a blind eye to the problem instead of fixing it. So I could do this. That's why I didn't do it. I thought it was something better. Is a 3 combinator scheme, one for the S condition, another for the R, and third one for the SR? Yeah. Problem is that when you look on the wiki for the Factorio, then it's really bad, the SR latch. It's just completely impossibly explained. RS latch. It's not an SR latch, it's an RS latch. The signal is set and reset with a constant combinator on the left. Latch remembers which one was last set, and the light stays on until another set. Okay, I'm gonna try to make it exactly. Why do they not have blueprints? Why do they not leave blueprints here? But whatever. I'm gonna build it exactly like this and then wonder why it doesn't work. Why? This is no help at all. If you have a blueprint, if you set up something that has 2 conditions, 2 combinators, but you only explain how one of them is set up, then it's completely useless. And the wiring is, yeah, I can't see this. This is why I hate that explanation, because it's so bad. It's so bad. It really assumes that you understand, you already know it, and if you already know it, then you're not gonna need this. You can't see where the wires is. There are 2 combinators, and only one of them is explained. Can someone just post the blueprint, because I can't do this at this point. Sorry. It's too late for me. I'm completely wasted. I can't do an SR latch. I just can't. So if someone can do this thing as an SR latch, I'd be happy to paste it in. Otherwise, no. I can't follow instructions in chat. It's not you, it's me. I've been on a long spiritual journey all weekend, so thank you, Fox. Appreciate it. Coming to my rescue here. Okay, that's certainly split out, so spoon-fed it here. Okay, let me see what happens here. And now you even called it S and R. It's perfect. Lovely. This is not compact. This is not need to be compact. It's split out so that even I can figure. This is, oh man, you understand me. Thank you. All right. So the first thing is it sets the condition when it is less than or equal to 30% charge. Perfect. Then it sends the S value equal to 1. This one is when the S is greater than reset, then it keeps being the set condition. And then the reset conditions comes in here. Here's the one that's off. And it goes in. Here it just goes, if this is 1, then reset. You can't skip this, right? No, not really. And then if the S is greater than 1, yeah, and I'm sure it could be This one wouldn't be necessary if I, instead of S, I used solar panel icon, right? Yeah, then this wouldn't be necessary. Oh, but it also loops back. And say one comment. Yeah, okay, so that's also what I... but then I'm going to have a risk of leaking signals back, because if I cut this out and switch it to S, then I have the global red wire signal feeding into the input here, which I don't think I should. So I'm gonna keep it like this. Thank you, Fox. And everyone else who clearly understood it and tried to help me, to no avail. So I'm gonna rebuild it. That's the A value coming in, and then it comes into that one, the actual setting condition. And this output set condition is on the red wire. I feel that should be over here. No, that should be further down the line. It's sequential. And this is the one that goes back into the network. And I also want to get a and then we just need the reset signal. Just that reset signal will come from the red global wire. And then it'll go into on the green wire, consolidate, and go in here. Good. And I can then test it with a push button, I think. This push button is going to pretend to be a robot. Oops. But it's not gonna be, it's gonna be on the green wire so it doesn't spread out into the network and actually start something. So that will be working as a reset signal. First we need to set it. This one comes in as there. What? S? Oh, this one should not be an S signal. Oh, because it's in this case it's supposed to be hooked up to that one. There you go. So now it's been set because at any given time this has been below 30%, and then if I simulate the signal, it resets. And if I simulate this one has now been below, then it comes back, the value is set, and now I can reset it. And I don't think then the next part is it can't be 30, it has to be like 50, because the other one was just too. Thank you, Fox. You've been most helpful today. Can be equal to 1 from the menu and 1 from the set condition. Ah, right. Okay. So this is for testing. Whoop. All right, let's try it again. And here comes the good part when I just do the same thing and call it ready for start even more-ish, kind of. All right, let's see. We do not have any inherent signal here, but we should have. Whoa, that comes out on the wrong wire. Yes. That's supposed to go out on a green wire because it's supposed to be like output signal, input signal. Good. That's where it's supposed to be. And save again. All we need now is here. Beep. Go. Is the zone not green? Yep. Vendor, you spotted the same thing I did. Great. Excellent. Awesome. Now, robots, get work done. Anytime now. There we go. Takes forever when they've been idle for a while. Keep requesting while below 50. If so, it might be good to set one solar block is not enough. I have the possibility to make 3 solar blocks in a row, so I can make more solar blocks than I can make any of the other ones. So it can actually, if it built one and it still doesn't go above 50, then it just builds another one, and if it builds another one, and after it built 3 blocks, then it has to be built something else. Because I do expect it to sort of fall into a deficit when it starts building a new science, and then it builds all the prerequisites, and suddenly the whole chain starts moving. Then I'm going to be dropping down in power, and then I have to pick back up by making up to 3 additional locations. That's what I want. Oops, that was probably bad, wasn't it? Did that break something? Probably did. Doesn't matter. I would like to remove that, but anyway. Is greater than 90. Maybe it's even. Equal to 100. Yeah. 90. 80. Good, so that gives it a little bit. I didn't realize you could program the circuit network to build blueprints unless using mods. That's also correct. You can't, you must have one mod to get this building called a blueprint deployer. It's part of recursive blueprint. When you place a blueprint in that, it will deploy the blueprint, and that's something that is not part of the default. All right, so what have we built? We have built now a science lab, slab, and then some red and green, and then the next one should be iron built, and then it's probably copper built, and then it'll realize that it needs more power. No, it'll get iron, and then it'll get raw resources, then it'll get copper, and then it'll realize that it needs more power, I think. Now we can just monitor this one. As soon as it drops below 100, we'll get a visual cue here. Yep. Well, should end now. Just want to get a little bit further. Just want to see that it triggers correctly the solar panel. We've spent so much time on getting that. So anyway, next week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be Darkest Dungeon 2. So come check it out. It's a release, and there's new character, new character, 2 new bosses, and good times. Tuesday is going to be Timberborn. Thursday is either Timberborn or Jedi Survivor, and Saturday is Jedi Survivor, and of course Sunday is more Factorio. So hope you are a little bit enticed by the program for next week. I'm looking forward to it, but I am also a little bit worried about whether that's just something I want to do. No, not streaming all days now. I only streamed 3 days this week, 4 days, but I gotta make up for lost time and try to sort of recuperate a little bit. So that's why I'm gotta roll up the sleeves and put on the grind. There you go. That is first and second iron train coming in. You know it. It's sometimes you just need to. You realize that you haven't been working enough, and then we just need to get some more. Close automation I've done is an auto smart smelter using combinator reader mods from Space Exploration. Okay. Why is there a combinator reader in Space Exploration? Right, let's see. Here. Yep, we lost the first ping here. 94%. Okay, so now it's starting to decrease. Starting to be a little bit worried. Oh, it went below 90. Ooh, the horror, the horror. And we can see this whole thing is online now. So we're definitely... Oh, there we go. Below 80. It's a problem. When it drops below 50, then that's when we have trouble here. And now it switches on here. And that means it should now have a solar panel signal. That means the next location to be built will be solar panels. Then the question is, will it run out completely? Because then we're screwed. Or will we kind of just make it barely on time? Okay, so the accumulator is either because it's running out, or it is because it's daytime now. No accumulator, but we still have a little bit of charge. 25. And then beep. That's the next beep. And that's a solar panel. Woo! Get that solar panel done. That'll help. But as you can see, it did not reset. Because it reset, but it set itself immediately because it's still stuck below here. So it'll keep building solar panel city blocks until this improves. We should now see more solar coming in. Accumulator is still burning. It's still troubling. 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14. Oh no, it's bad. It's bad. It's real bad. It's real bad. We should actually get... Why do we not get more? Because it's nighttime, right? I have no idea. So now we're struggling a little bit. Weird. Weird. So solar panel is fully operational now. And our accumulators are dead. And it's daytime. So when we hit nighttime, it's gonna just be a disaster. Yeah. But we're building more solar panels now, which isn't really gonna help much when it's nighttime. Yep, day-night cycle is turned on. You can see. Now more. Come on, we're working our way up to 100%. Come on. Yes, you can do it. Accumulator charge. Yes. Little bit of charge here. Still not even 1%, but still it's something. 2%. And that's 1, 2, but that means the third one will also be a solar panel. And then I'm not allowing it to build more than 3 solar panels in a row. And then it'll have to do something else for 2 more, and then it can go back into solar panels. The way it's done is because I've set it up here. There's only 1 left. That will then go back into the queue. There'll be 2 more smelting blocks. No? Yeah, they are requested. That's actually true. Ugh. That's not good. Would you consider nuclear? No, I wouldn't, because I can't do that. Turn off factories. That's a great point, Bob. That's a great point. We're not going to do that because we're way over time. But that's a good point of just turning off like the smelting until power is pretty low. Yeah, but I also set it to 50, so it's not set to 30, so that's why. 50 is good, but troublesome. Okay, look, we're actually recovering. Woohoo! And beep. There's another beep, and that's another solar panel. Anytime now. And then after that, it will be... It's not requesting iron at this point. Actually, that's interesting. It's not requesting iron. It's requesting copper, but not iron. And I would suspect that the copper will also fill up. Let's see. Where is it we request copper? This is the only place we request copper. And, well, it's not there yet. But as soon as the first copper train goes in... Oh, this is so close. So close. So as soon as the first copper train comes out here, then I will not actually going to expend more copper. So that's actually good. I think any dip below 100 is good solar panels. So that means every nighttime you want to build another solar panel, because kind of solar doesn't really work at night. How does it decide it? This block here is determining that, or is defining a spiral that goes like this, made by extra trailing space, and just copy paste it in. Isn't copper and taboo anymore? It's coming out soon. So I think that it'll actually have time to get in here and fill this up, and it is still going in here because actually it can't unload fast enough. This is actually a problem. I would want it to unload faster. Actually now it's not a problem because now it can't, it fills up here. So these are increasing quite a lot now, finally. Come on. This is just slightly faster than the red belt can consume, or at least faster than this one. So now we're in a position where it starts increasing. Once it goes above 200, I think it won't be... It'll stop request. Oh, 10,000. It's kind of a lot, isn't it? Why 10,000? That's a little bit much, I think, 10,000. Oh well. Especially with this slow unload here. Yeah. If it was able to unload on both sides, and it is actually able to unload on both sides. Ah, fuck it. That's not what we do now. Never mind. That's definitely not. We are going to wrap this one up today. No extra hour today, so we are going to wrap it up here. It's close, but no cigar. So, thank you all for joining. We have, in my opinion, an interesting program for us next week with lots of Dark Dungeons. So, adventure games there, some Timberborn. Hopefully, there'll still be some interest in Timberborn. We're going to get into the late game where we can really scale up and make some awesome stuff, and a little bit of Jedi Survivor as well for the adventuring. And also in the week after, there will be V-Rising. V-Rising will include a community server for patrons, so consider that. That should be interesting. Thank you for joining, and thank you for the hype train. I will see you hopefully tomorrow, or at least sometime next week. Good night, take care, and stay effective.